Today at the 2019 LA Auto Show, we got our first look at the lightly refreshed 2020 Kia Niro. This is Kia's electric, plug-in hybrid, and full hybrid vehicle. But for 2020, only the plug-in hybrid and full hybrid are getting the tweaks that we see here. We do expect them to apply to the EV, we just don't know exactly when that's going to be. Up front, you can see that we get restyled headlamps, we get this new and different styled grille going on right here, and then these chevron-themed fog lamps down at the bottom. These are the same basic changes that we first saw in Geneva, but we now have confirmation that America is getting all of those updates. Kia calls the Niro their subcompact crossover, but in reality this is a little bit more of a pregnant hatchback. We definitely have some crossover-like styling, but overall ground clearance is definitely down there towards the average hatchback or compact sedan in America. Overall ground clearance is pretty similar to something like the Mazda CX-3, which is pretty low to the ground. Something like the all-new Kia Stellos is definitely going to be higher off the ground with 7.2 inches of clearance, but it's not going to get 50 miles per gallon, which is what we do see in this eco-hybrid model. Coming around to the rear, we also see some tweaks to the overall design, new tail lamp modules, some tweaks down here that mirror what was going on up front, but the bulk of the Niro remains the same. This is very closely related to the Hyundai Ioniq. It's not quite as fuel efficient as the Ioniq because of the overall crossover styling, but it is more cargo practical. You can definitely see we have that very square cargo area back here. This is the hybrid version, so if we lift up the load floor, we do have room for a spare tire under there. Depending on the version of the Niro you get, you may not be able to have a spare tire in that cargo area, but it is nice that the space is available in the hybrid version. In addition to the exterior tweaks, we also get some interior refinements. We have the very same steering wheel that we saw before. We have the regen paddles on the back, which is a nice touch. We have a new 7-inch LCD instrument cluster. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to turn this one on, so we can't see what's going on there. But we also have a new up-level 10.25-inch touchscreen LCD infotainment system. Now, this is not standard, this is optional. If you get the base version of the Niro, then we get an 8-inch touchscreen. If you get this model, then we do get this upgraded 10.25-inch screen. This is one of the largest screens you'll find in a subcompact category, whether we're talking about a subcompact hatchback, a sedan, or of course a crossover. And then we also get this orange accent right here across the dashboard, which is definitely an interesting touch. It goes with all the orange stitching and the orange accents on the seats. We still have dual zone climate control down there lower in the dashboard, Qi wireless charging mat, a pretty traditional shifter, and then lower on the dashboard we have controls for the heated and ventilated seats and heated steering wheel. Kia tells us that we should see this model out on dealer lots pretty soon. We don't know exactly when that's going to be, but expect it in early 2020. Apparently these are already in production for the European market and of course their domestic South Korean market, so these should be on the dealer lots in America very, very soon. That's probably when we'll start to see pricing come out for the Niro. Pricing is already out for the recently refreshed 2020 Hyundai Ioniq. It went up about $500 in hybrid model, about $900 for the plug-in hybrid. This is probably going to stick pretty close to that format in terms of pricing overall. Now, unfortunately, at the moment, we don't know exactly when the electric-only version of the Niro is going to get all the updates we see in this model. That's the electric Niro that will give you about 240 miles of EV range. It is one of the longer-range EVs currently available in America and also is one of the most affordable. If you're shopping for a subcompact crossover or a subcompact hatchback, the Niro should definitely be on your shopping list, regardless of whether you want to call this a hatchback or a crossover. Now, if you're looking for something electric, I would definitely wait for the updated version of the Niro. This has excellent efficiency numbers, some of the best range and most practicality available for the price tag of the Niro EV. But unfortunately, again, we don't know when it is going to get the same updates we see in this model, but I would be willing to hold off for that if I were in the EV segment shopping right now. Be sure and stay tuned for updates and, of course, the full drive review just as soon as we can get our hands on this refreshed Niro as soon as we can down there in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and find us over at facebook.com/AlexNautos. I'll see you later.